Could ancient secrets passed down in cryptic manuscripts and rumored to be guarded by secret societies be influencing your life every single day, even if you've never heard of them? Some call these 7 ideas the Hermetic Principles. Others call them the hidden blueprint of our reality. From whispers that the Catholic Church once sought to bury their contents, to modern conspiracy theories suggesting government agencies studied them for mind control, these teachings remain shrouded in both fascination and controversy. But why do they matter? According to believers, each principle holds a fragment of a master key that explains everything from personal struggles to the birth of entire galaxies. They say if you understand them, really understand them, you can break free from the so-called illusions of everyday life and become the conscious architect of your own destiny. And if that sounds like some kind of over-the-top fantasy, you're not alone in thinking so. Skeptics insist these so-called laws are outdated mysticism, better left in the dusty archives of history. Yet here we are, with more people than ever turning to these arcane ideas for insight, spiritual direction, and in some cases, power. Get ready to step behind the curtain, challenge your beliefs, and discover why certain groups, from alleged clandestine government projects to the mysterious corridors of secret orders like the Freemasons, might have taken these ancient writings more seriously than you could ever imagine. Strap in, because what you're about to hear might just shift your understanding of reality itself. For centuries, Hermes Trismegistus has been a name cloaked in layers of legend. Some say he was a mystical figure from ancient Egypt, identified with the god of wisdom, Thoth. Others argue he might have been a group of scholars writing under a single pseudonym, weaving timeless wisdom into texts like the Emerald Tablets and the Kybalion. Whichever story you believe, historians and occult enthusiasts alike agree on one point. These writings influenced not just medieval alchemists and Renaissance philosophers, but also modern thinkers who claim they carry a potent message for humanity's evolution. But here's where it gets controversial. Rumors of suppression. Stories persist that powerful institutions, possibly certain factions within the Catholic Church, tried to hide or destroy Hermetic texts. Allegedly, they feared these teachings would erode their authority by empowering individuals with direct spiritual knowledge outside official doctrine. Secret societies, organizations like the Rosicrucians, the Golden Dawn, and the Freemasons are said to have adopted and guarded Hermetic wisdom. Critics claim these groups utilize such teachings in private rituals, sparking questions about hidden magical knowledge and influence in higher circles of power. Modern conspiracies. Some conspiracy theorists go further, speculating that intelligence agencies experimented with Hermetic mind control techniques, especially with the first principle of mentalism, to manipulate outcomes on a mass scale. Outlandish or not, these stories persist because the 7 Hermetic Principles are said to unlock deeper layers of reality. So let's examine each one, along with the swirling controversies and speculations about how they might be playing out, even in today's world. Principle 1. Mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. This is the bedrock, the principle that shakes people to their core when they first hear it. The ancient Hermetists declared that reality itself, at the deepest level, is shaped by consciousness or mind stuff. If you've heard of the modern law of attraction, it's basically a pop culture echo of mentalism. Shocking allegations and modern twists. Possible CIA connection. Some allege that certain mind experiment programs, the ones that have been semi-declassified, were basically the government's attempt to harness mentalism. Could thought alone influence people or events? The darker rumors claim these agencies tested everything from subliminal messaging to dream manipulation on unsuspecting citizens. Pop culture and social media. Influencers often push affirmations and manifestation techniques. While they may not invoke Hermetic language, the core idea is the same. Your thoughts have the power to shape your experiences, but the question remains, are these platforms also turning mentalism around on you, molding your mind to keep you scrolling, liking, and buying? Critics view. Scientists who remain firmly in the materialist camp label all this woo-woo nonsense. They argue that yes, your mindset matters, but it's limited by objective physical constraints. Hermetic devotees respond that science is only just scratching the surface of quantum mysteries, which might prove the universe operates more like a mental or vibratory field. Whether you take it as metaphor or literal truth, The notion that everything begins in the realm of thought can be riveting and perhaps unsettling. After all, if your mental state is the origin of what you attract, how many of your current struggles might be illusions of your own making? But that wasn't the whole story. Principle 2. Correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. Ever heard that phrase before? It's everywhere, from New Age self-help books to the works of medieval alchemists. The idea is that patterns repeat across all levels of reality. The movement of celestial bodies parallels the movement of subatomic particles. Inner emotional chaos might mirror external life chaos. Controversies and speculations. Holographic universe. Some fringe physicists and metaphysical gurus point to modern theories that our universe might be a vast hologram. They say the Hermetic Principle of correspondence anticipated this idea thousands of years ago, implying the macrocosm is within the microcosm. Critiques of pseudoscience. Traditional scientists and skeptics dismiss these parallels as cherry-picked coincidences. They argue that encouraging people to see cosmic meaning in everything can lead to a lazy, mystical approach that overlooks real data. Secret societies. Again, in certain alleged esoteric rites, initiates are taught to see each ritual as a reflection of cosmic processes. Critics claim it's all theatrics. Devotees claim it's a timeless technology for aligning personal energy with cosmic energy. However you approach it, correspondence can be unsettling. If what's happening inside your mind truly shapes the outside, and vice versa, then self-awareness becomes the most crucial form of knowledge. It also sets the stage for the next principle, which takes that interplay a step further by insisting everything, at its core, is always in motion. Principle 3. Vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. We live in a fast-paced world. Now imagine if that speed is not just on your phone or the busy city streets. It's the fundamental rhythm of reality itself. The Hermetists said long ago that even objects appearing perfectly still are actually swirling bundles of atoms in perpetual motion. Modern shocks and conspiracy theories. Quantum physics match up. Today's scientists confirm that atoms are mostly empty space, with subatomic particles blinking in and out of existence. Could the ancients have intuited something about quantum fields? That's exactly what many Hermetic fans believe. Manipulating vibration. There are claims that certain advertisers or social media companies deliberately harness emotional triggers like shock, outrage, or FOMO, fear of missing out, to lower or heighten our vibrational state. If you're constantly on edge, does it make you easier to control? Skeptical eye. Traditional psychology says yes, emotional states can be manipulated, but that's a far cry from controlling vibration in a cosmic sense. However, the more you dig, the more you see the same pattern repeated. Those who have large-scale influence, media moguls, tech giants, mass advertisers, seem to understand attention is your greatest currency, and your focus can absolutely shape how you feel and respond. Once you accept that vibration might be the hidden wave guiding daily reality, the next principle steps in to show us how these vibrational extremes form polar opposites and how quickly we might swing from one side to the other without even noticing. Principle 4. Polarity. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites, love and hate, order and chaos, hot and cold, light and dark. Why do such extremes exist everywhere we look? Hermetic philosophy says that these aren't separate forces but two ends of the same spectrum, and you can transform one into the other by adjusting the vibration somewhere in the middle. Hidden tensions and modern implications. Emotional manipulation. Countless leaders, from political figures to cult gurus, have exploited polarity to galvanize followers. Some claim that by stoking fear, one pole, they can sell you safety, the other pole. The result is a cycle of engineered emotional highs and lows, rallying you around a cause or a product. Personal experience. Reflect on how quickly a heated argument can escalate. Two people might actually be close on the same spectrum, yet they perceive themselves as polar opposites. Could noticing these hidden similarities diffuse conflict? Hermeticists say yes. Alchemical symbolism. In certain secret groups, polarity is depicted as merging opposites, like the sun, masculine, and moon, feminine. Are these just silly metaphors? Or do they illustrate a real universal law we should harness? One fascinating result of polarity is the natural back-and-forth rhythm it creates in all things. leading right to the next principle, which states that everything and everyone moves in cycles, and how ignoring that fact can leave you forever out of sync.
Principle 5. Rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. Life happens in waves. Day turns to night, seasons change, economies boom and bust. Your own mood lifts and drops. Nothing remains at a peak or a trough forever. Hermetic teaching suggests you either learn to ride these waves or risk being drowned by them, exploited by big business, corporate cycles. Some analysts say the fashion industry, for instance, capitalizes on the principle of rhythm by deliberately staging new collections every season, fueling the cycle of consumer desire. People grow tired of current trends, the downward swing, and feel compelled to buy again, the upward swing. Emotional rhythms. Social media also runs on cyclical waves of virality. One day, everyone's obsessed with a new dance challenge or a silly meme. The next, it's old news. Platforms and advertisers thrive on these repeating cycles of hype and fatigue. Spiritual significance. More esoteric circles claim that if you tune into cosmic or astrological cycles, you can time your major life moves, like when to launch a business or when to retreat and reflect. Many call it superstition, but countless believers swear by these universal waves. And if you think these ups and downs are all random, the next principle begs to differ. It insists everything you see is the product of invisible forces set in motion long ago, and that so-called luck is just cause and effect we fail to recognize. Principle 6. Cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Have you ever blamed bad luck when things go wrong, or good luck when everything lines up perfectly? The Hermetic view says nothing is truly random. If you don't see the cause, it just means you haven't traced it deeply enough. Controversies and heated debates. Karmic loops. Many spiritual paths blend this principle with the idea of karma. Causes may echo not only over days or years, but across lifetimes if you believe in reincarnation. Critics say that's a convenient excuse for why good or bad fortune might persist. Devotees argue it's cosmic justice. Miracles or illusions. Some claim miracles are simply advanced knowledge of cause and effect that looks magical to outsiders. The story is that ancient sages or modern tricksters could create improbable outcomes by skillfully orchestrating unseen causes. Free will versus destiny. There's a philosophical showdown here. If all events are set in motion by causes, are we just cogs in a machine? Hermetic teachings answer that once you know this law, you can consciously choose the causes you set into motion. In other words, knowledge of cause and effect sets you free from being a victim of random events. Finally, we arrive at the last principle, which can be the most misunderstood and, for some, the most divisive. This principle says that behind every act of creation lies the interplay of two fundamental energies, masculine and feminine, and that everything in existence arises from this cosmic dance.
Principle 7. Gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Before you jump to modern debates around gender identity, understand the Hermetic concept differs from mere biology. Gender here refers to creative energies. The masculine force, outward, projecting, and the feminine force, inward, nurturing. These two aspects exist in every person, every organization, every living system. Societal shockwaves and scandals. Sexual alchemy. Some Hermetic and alchemical texts speak of sacred marriage or sexual alchemy, which can raise eyebrows. Detractors see it as coded language for taboo rituals. Practitioners say it's a metaphor for merging your active and receptive energies to achieve higher consciousness. Gender fluidity. Modern discussions on gender fluidity sometimes echo the Hermetic stance that both energies exist within each individual. It's part of a bigger puzzle about how we create and how we're created, on physical, emotional, and spiritual levels. Creation in action. Everywhere you look, from pollination in flowers to the spark that starts a brand new idea, the Hermetic viewpoint is that there's always a masculine spark and a feminine soil in collaboration. Even big corporations or movements might succeed because they master that interplay, pushing outward boldly, masculine, but nurturing unity within, feminine. Thus the grand tapestry is revealed, or is it? The master key, how the principles converge. At this point, you might notice these principles aren't just bullet points on a neat list. They overlap and weave together. Mentalism sets the stage by claiming reality has its roots in mind. Correspondence tells us each layer of reality mirrors the next. Vibration explains the ceaseless motion at every level. Polarity reveals how apparent opposites are really two extremes of one continuum. Rhythm insists everything flows in cycles, rising and falling in cosmic tides. Cause and effect reminds us that nothing happens without a precursor. Gender underscores the creative synergy behind all manifestation. Put them all together, and you get a radical blueprint for life, a universe that's mental, cyclical, vibratory, perfectly balanced between opposing forces, and continuously shaped by creative energies. This blueprint might sound mystical, but consider how many forward thinkers, from scientists to philosophers, are inching towards similar models, albeit in modern vocabulary. Could it be that these ancient truths were always sitting right under our noses? But here's where it turns startling. If these laws are real, that means certain groups, maybe hidden fraternities, maybe corporate marketing agencies, maybe political strategists, could be using them daily to influence your reality while you remain ignorant. Indeed, entire conspiracies revolve around the idea that if a select few master these principles, they can pull the strings of entire populations. So where does that leave you? If even a fraction of these hermetic principles bear truth, then every time you scroll social media, watch a political debate, or choose to dwell on certain thoughts, you're exercising or being influenced by these invisible forces. Chance may be an illusion. Your daily ups and downs might just reflect internal beliefs, and the cycles that shape your life could be harnessed if you're aware enough to see them. Some people react to all this with disbelief or dismiss it as fantasy. Others sense a powerful resonance, as if they've encountered a lost memory. The only way to find out which is correct is to test these principles for yourself. Pay attention to how your mental state shapes your results. Notice the cyclical patterns in your emotions or relationships, and question how polarities might be fueling conflicts. Because if these ancient keys hold any real power, then your life, as well as the world at large, may be orchestrated by a hidden architecture you've only just begun to perceive. The question is, will you let that architecture remain invisible, or will you take the first step to becoming its conscious creator? Whatever your answer, keep this in mind. Throughout history, from the cryptic corridors of secret societies to modern social platforms, those who grasp the deeper laws of reality tend to shape the future. Maybe this is your invitation to be one of them. Thank you for watching.